All right, so if you didn't notice, this is my basically like work dress. I paint in it, I dig in it, I everything in it. Anyways, so this is a Melanochrysum. This is what we would call a velvety heart leaf. This looks pretty puny. This looks terrible. This is considered a rare plant. It will look fantastic on a moss pole when it gets big and it's attached, but this looks terrible. It looks absolutely terrible. It loves high humidity, super high humidity, but I just, for some reason, I thought it was gonna be a lot easier than what it is. It just never gets very big. I've had it in sphagnum moss. This is actually a propagation from the mother plant. So what I'm doing now is I'm just untangling some of the sphagnum moss in there and taking it off the roots. This is kind of a tricky part because you don't want to get the roots pulled off, but you also have to get that sphagnum moss off, because what will happen is you can get root rot from it really easily, especially if you're putting it in dirt. I've been having this grow for, I don't know how long, a long time in here, just because I forgot about it, you know, that's probably why. So let's be real, I wasn't really taking care of it too much. So I'm just taking care of it now, and I'm going to put it in a pot with the type of chunky mix that they typically like. It is a type of philodendron, and it is considered a velvety leaf. It is a velvety leaf. It's very velvety, and they get huge and kind of almost scary looking, honestly, when they get big enough. If you have not heard of Sydney Plant Guy, he grows crazy plants on moss poles, and they look, plants that are small that usually you would grow and look, you know, maybe like this. He grows them into huge plants on the moss poles, and they look absolutely just crazy, 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 and completely different plants. And that's the thing about plants, just like kids, when they grow bigger, they can look completely different. You wouldn't even recognize them. Sometimes you can, but I like some kinds of plants in their juvenile form, and that's, you know, it is what it is. And then there's a lot of plants that I like in their big form, their mature form, you could say. So this one, I'm not trying to get it super big, but I would like it to look better than this. So that's why I'm undoing the sphagnum moss. One great tip that I would probably give you is to wet the moss so that you can pull this stuff off a lot easier. Sphagnum moss is a great medium to propagate plants, but it's very difficult to get out of the roots once you've rooted. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm pretty good at it, actually. I'm pretty good at taking the sphagnum moss off, but that's taking lots of practice. So just about all of it. But like I said, if you get the sphagnum moss, some of it's okay to keep on there, but if you get it left on there, you might get root rot. So all of this, all of that came from stuck to these roots. Just pulling off some more here, and just about there. I think this would be good enough, honestly, to go ahead and put into dirt. So that's hard work, even though it didn't probably seem like hard work. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a pot probably about this size. In fact, I think I'm gonna use this one, and then I'm gonna fill it full of the potting mix that I do. So as usual, I put some mix in there at the bottom. It's a chunky mix. And because these kind of, I want them, they can fold real easily or kind of snugly put in themselves in there, I'm going to fill up a little more than I probably normally would, probably about a third of the way up. And then I'm gonna just kind of nestle those little roots into the area. I don't worry about as much with these kinds of trailing type plants. I don't worry about as much as getting them further down into the pot. But now that I have it kind of settled in there, and now it falls out, have it settled in there, I'm just gonna put some soil on top. And I could put this on a moss pole if I wanted, but this is small. And so moss poles, you could do like a really small moss pole, and that would be fine. And I'll probably do that, honestly, but sometimes that's not always successful. But it might be kind of nice just to have this for just the appearance of it standing up like that. I might do that, actually. But you can see I am done, and this already looks happier, honestly. So I just need to water it, and I think I'm gonna put it in some kind of plastic sack or something like that while it's acclimating. And yeah, Melanochrysum. Love this plant when it looks good. Unfortunately, it just has a tendency not to look good. So Melanochrysum.